You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
Feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it. The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Guten Morgen, folks. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Will Dogson, with my buddy, Kev Huggen-Duggan. Oh, oh, my God.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th, folks. But let's not forget our Freddy Fazbear, Kyle the Coach Duggan. Turn him on. Oh, there it is.
I almost forgot. My face was up at the beginning.
Hide it.
Yeah, I was like, but then I went into my okay, well, what do I do right now? While Adam's introing himself, like the show, and Kevin, what do I do with my hands? So I cocked the head down and was ready.
Looks great.
Yeah.
I love the new thing.
Well, it is a beautiful Friday the 13th morning, folks. Lots to talk about because we finally got not just a game coming up, primetime game coming
big boy game. Yeah,
big boy game.
pants.
Put on the big boy pants.
Boy game.
Let's see. We've also got a Craig experience lined up for you guys and a Bolt Insight, folks.
A fun one. I think we shouldn't bury the lead. We should tell who's here.
Please.
We got Chris Hayre.
We got freaking Chris Hayre, baby.
Let's go. He's here.
Running it back for us.
What a
Sit down,
guy.
talk some Chargers. I'm excited to see it. But let's waste no time. Let's start at the top here. Anybody that's been watching Chargers social media saw our boy showing off the Oakleys.
Dude, he's like transforming into this butterfly
happening,
of awesomeness. You know what I mean?
It's pretty impressive. The guy just looks like an absolute stud. He's letting the beard come out too.
He looks a little bit French though with that beard.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
He's got like just a little patch here and then like a wispy mustache. I kind of like it.
It's
But also
awesome,
those glasses, you think he's got the one glove on. Everyone knows that's just Phil. You see a glove on a quarterback and it takes you to Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he's wearing glasses. Could we maybe see visor Herbo on Monday night?
Man.
Dude, if he goes sleeve, visor, glove, there's no chance for the Cowboys.
No, that's like full Terminator.
Herbo.
Yeah.
Turbo Herbo is coming. I'm scared. I like looking at this. I'm in admiration, but I'm also scared for whoever he's throwing that ball to because it's coming fast.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like the Power Rangers where like, you know, they've got like the different animals and they create
Yep.
a fucking, like,
Megazord.
Yeah. So
Just
you've got
put a new
like
piece
the
on.
glasses. You got the glove. You got the sleeve.
Yeah.
Love it.
He's got all of it.
Justin Herbert. All right. Sorry. It's early, folks. I'm just waking up. But
shit.
yeah, Herbert's looking great. He talked to the press and everything, says everything's good to go.
You know what he said about the glove? He's like, I kind of like it. Gives you a better grip on the ball. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hell yes. Keep it.
Well, because they asked him, they were like, is it for like the stickiness? Is it because of the injured finger? He's like, it's a little bit of both, actually.
kinda
so
like it.
Kind of go both ways.
And can I say, we watched the press conferences last night.
Mhm.
Coach still is not a huge fan of Daniel Popper.
Mm-mm.
It is.
It's lighter. It's lighter.
It's lighter.
But there's
He had a bye week.
He's got the Popper exhale now. The
Right when he starts talking.
because he asked really long questions. So I was like, oh God.
Here we go again.
So I don't want to bring that up again, but I find that kind of funny.
It was pretty funny.
It felt a little bit less though. That the last press conference when we talked about it, it was blatant.
Hopefully
Like,
Staley heard about
He's
Popper's
He's warming up.
totaled
Yeah.
car, and he was just like, all right, I'm not going to give
Yeah,
you so much.
today's-
shit.
he's
I
having
know
a
you
tough
had
day.
a total car, but
Yeah.
could you get to the point of the question? But yes, looking over at the press conference, Coach was asked about the J.C. Jackson situation. And one of the reporters said there was a report that you guys were going to play JC in the last game, but he refused to go in. Did that happen? And Staley said, I'm not talking any more about JC. We're moving forward as a team. That's behind us. The tape speaks for itself. Whoa.
I'm not talking about that guy.
He's like, they asked him more, and he's basically like, well, we have 2 seasons of tape on him. And
Yeah.
that's why we moved on. It's basically what he said.
Yeah.
It was no nonsense. He did not play well.
But still trying to be like as professional about it as
Right.
possible.
Yeah.
And not going like, the guy sucks. Y'all saw it. We saw 2 years of this shit. Like,
Yeah.
that's what
I would have done.
Yeah.
Hope the door didn't hit him on the way out.
Yeah.
Like, they were very like, hey, We had 2 seasons of tape.
He should,
Clearly
you know
not
what he
fit.
should have done? He should have flipped it on the reporters and be like, who thought we should have kept him? Who here would have kept JC Jackson? And here are the
Anybody?
crickets. Yeah, anybody?
Popper.
All right.
Anyone?
So
Anyone?
the JC thing's done. Let's go. Moving forward.
Exactly.
I would have been like, let's say that scenario happened. What would you have done?
Yeah, flip it on them.
Let's hear it, Popper. What do you
Let's
got?
It's always the best thing to do when you don't know how to answer it or you're tired of answering it. Just make them
Flip
answer it.
Flip
Yeah.
it.
Turn them tables.
This the ultimate like spouse battle move. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What,
It's you just,
what should I have done?
well, where did the money go?
what do you think I should have done? Yeah, where do you think?
You
the
tell
money
me where the money went. Show me the money.
Show me the receipts. And then Chris Ream on Twitter.
And Chris Ream, we haven't mentioned him before, but he's like the official ESPN.
The Chargers for the Chargers. Yeah, the writer for ESPN.
Yeah, so I followed him just
I had no
recently,
idea. So
Chris,
you got a couple new
KRIS
followers.
RHIM. If you're not following, go follow him because he also gives great details and info.
Big time. He tweeted out about Michael Davis, cornerback Michael Davis on the JC Jackson situation. The question was, how does it feel to be in this position with JC not here anymore? And Mike Davis said, all I can really say is it was a little bit shaky the first 4 games for all of us for the defensive back room. I think now we're just kind of like a little bit more locked in. We're a little more locked in.
I like locked in.
We kind of know what we're doing here now.
Everyone kind of knows how to play football now.
Well, I guess that's the thing. It's just they're like, well, we got to play this guy. We gave him a bunch of money.
Yeah,
And like,
you're kind of in a lose-lose situation.
yeah, and they're like, well, we're playing better. It's like, yeah, but you didn't pay us much, I guess.
You're on a rookie deal, so
So glad to see that things are kind of. I think that's really going to help.
It'll be a
this
turnaround.
team.
So basically, what happened last year? They had it. The first couple games with JC, he left. A couple games later, they
Mike
found
Davis
the rhythm, and
pulled-
that,
yeah.
Rhythm,
and
yeah.
that was when Mike Davis was going out of his mind.
Yeah.
So eliminate him. Let those guys rise.
Yeah.
We're going to be great.
Big time. And then Bridget Condon also had a thing from Mike Davis with the JC Jackson gone. Mike Davis said things are a bit more set in stone. Now everything falls on me. I feel like me and JC were kind of competing for the spot, competing to see who was starting every week. It was kind of an unknown every week.
Yeah, that's not great.
I can't imagine that's easy to perform when you're just going like, I mean, am I the guy? Is
yeah.
this guy?
At the same time, though, like that competitiveness is a good thing. Like pushes you to get better, and you can't just sit back and chill at practice because
Sure.
then you're not playing. So
Yeah.
there's an element of it that's really good. But if the coach is not like upfront and straightforward with it, and it does feel a little bit like he's getting preferential treatment because of his contract, and there's no way just watching tape that you're going to start him over me. If that starts to creep in, then it gets hard. But I don't think for the most part, I think it's good to have that competitiveness. Like, I don't know if I'm going to start, so I'm going to go out there and ball every day. But he's had that now for the whole offseason, now for 4 weeks of the NFL season. So now it's like he's hopefully put in the work, and now he's ready to go out there and just like play a little bit more free.
Yeah.
It's got to be like getting a little weight off your shoulders. You can just like settle in, get comfortable with knowing that you 100% of the guy, don't have to mess around with it. So it'll be good.
And then looking over at PFF, sometimes they love us, sometimes they hate us, but this week we were doing okay because Asante Samuel Jr. is the second highest coverage grade of any cornerback in man coverage this season, pulling a 90 right
Come
now.
on.
Yeah.
That's big time.
Yeah. You don't hear his name get called very often unless he's coming in to get an interception.
And that's a good thing because he's pressing these guys.
Yeah.
He's man coverage and no one's getting the ball.
Now, there's a couple of things about statistics, and PFF loves to do it, is how often is he in man coverage, one. And two, the one time that I saw him in man coverage, like I saw it because we just all saw it, was when he got beat pretty good in Tennessee for that long play over the top.
Sure.
So it's not as if he has arrived, but that's, dude, if you're, even if you run 10 plays, if you're shooting 90%, you're in good shape. So
exactly.
That's an A.
Yeah.
I never saw that in school.
That's still an A, baby.
Yeah.
I never saw that in school. Yeah, you did. You went to camp.
A's.
Yeah.
They gave you like E for excellent and that kind of thing. It was on a different grading scale.
S for showed up.
Satisfactory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's look over at the injury report. This was an interesting injury report to see, especially because at the top you've got Joey Bosa still dealing with the toe injury. I still want to know who the hell stepped on his toe. But he showed his did not practice. But Dan Popper tweeted out that he was out there at practice.
So maybe he was just standing out there hanging out with the
he was
boys.
just looking around.
The beauty of this week, though, is like that Thursday practice, like give it a little grain of salt because it is a Monday night game.
Correct.
So we still got a little time to get in there and get ready.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that was interesting to see. But Austin Eckler, full practice.
Hell yeah.
Love
Dude,
that.
this is such a
Huge.
It's so huge, man. What he did in that first game that he played, like, man, let's go.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the re-signing of Austin Eckler as of right now?
I'm in. I'm 100% in.
It's not my money.
Pay that man his money.
Give him what he wants.
Like,
It does
just
feel
let
a little
J.C.
bit.
Jackson go.
Dude,
Dude, some of that J.C. Jackson money.
He has handled this season so far pretty expertly,
yeah.
killing it in week 1, and then being like, my ankle hurts. Oh, now you can't
God,
run.
you
the
need me so
Shoot.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll come back.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna blow up on Monday night. I hope they just
so.
figure something out with him.
They're going to pay an extra premium, though. There's going to be like a surcharge, like the convenience charge of
Whatever.
like you blew it. Whatever.
The you blew it charge.
The you blew it charge.
Again,
So,
all those types of fees we should start GoFundMe's for.
Yeah.
They can reach out to the fans, and if we really want him, then we'll make it happen.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Good
I'll
call.
toss a 20 on Keep a Neck.
yeah. Well, hey, we'll get the Founders Club together. We'll pull some cash and we'll get it going.
Yeah.
Let's see. Safety Alohi Gilman, still dealing with that heel injury, did not practice. Justin Herbert had to be on the injury report because of his finger, but getting a full practice.
But did you see him with those glasses on?
he got
Take
a
him
full
off for this
practice in.
report. Yeah.
Derwin James with the hamstring injury got a full practice in. Deanie Leonard, hamstring injury, limited practice. Khalil Mack taking a rest day, didn't practice. Donald Parham with the wrist injury got a limited practice in. I saw
Thank
that
God.
he had the brace on when he was practicing, so hopefully that heals up quick.
Isn't it interesting with Parham? Like when he's in there, he is getting so many more looks than Gerald Everett. It's just kind of crazy.
Do you think it's just a size thing? Like just
I don't
because
know
of how tall he is?
I think it's how Kellen Moore likes to use him. I think it's definitely a different situation. So hopefully he comes back, but I don't know. It was interesting. I just kind of noticed that the other day.
It's just when our offense is playing, you don't notice the tight end. Like it's not like a big part of like, we got to shut this guy down. Whereas when you watch the Chiefs last night, it's like,
all they do.
Travis Kelce is the go-to right now. Patrick Mahomes can't do anything but throw it to Travis Kelce.
Right.
Well, and it's weird because he was coming out of the Cowboys with like a couple tight ends, and that was their offense.
Right.
They threw the tight ends like crazy. Now he just like totally morphed into, no, it's okay. We'll use our
share.
Awesome
Throw it to
wide
Keenan.
receivers.
Yeah.
Throw it to Keenan.
Share and like.
Yeah.
And then our two tackles, Trey Pipkins and Rashawn Slater, both on the injury report for shoulder, ankle, respectively, but got full practices in.
Thank God.
Good injury report to look at. Hopefully Joey Bosa can get that toe healed up. I'd love to see him come back out there. But otherwise,
I want some
pretty
Thule Bear.
excited. Yeah, I need some Thule Bear, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Looking at the Dallas Cowboys scroll of a injury report.
Jeez.
I think
this is just their roster, isn't it?
No, it looks like it.
It's a little misleading because there's a lot of guys that took some rest.
Unless
I
they're
guess a lot of
trying to
vets.
make it seem like
No,
it's not that
they
big of a
got
deal.
beat up in San Francisco.
Yeah, they
got-
don't have anything specific. They're just sore and don't feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the big names on here, like Stephon Gilmore, he took a rest day. But CJ Goodwin, I think we heard he might be going to IR. We talked about last episode. Malik Hooker on the report, but getting a full practice in, dealing with the shoulder injury. DeMarcus Lawrence, defensive end, getting a rest day. Veteran guard Zach Martin getting a rest day as well.
Well, and it's weird, like some guys like this, like Leighton Vander Esch is still on here when everyone's saying he's going to IR with his neck. So I can't. So this list, because some coaches play these lists a little differently. This seems like a very unreliable list, just based on who's on here and still not on
It's
IR
a very
yet.
Jerry Jones-ish type list.
Yeah,
I
totally.
do whatever I want. I'm Jerry Jones. Just put everyone's name on there.
This is,
Get out of
I'd
my
imagine
face.
just him sitting in front of his computer with Excel, like, NIR rest. That looks good.
NIR rest. Okay.
But let's see, their running back, Tony Pollard, dealing with a shoulder injury, got a limited practice in. And yeah, Vander Esch, there's no way that he's going to play if they were talking about putting him on IR. So just a lot of guys on here. A lot of, did not practice.
They played a physical game in San Francisco, and it's hard to bounce back from right away.
There was some crazy stat like that. Whoever plays the opponent of the 49ers after the next game, wins 98% of the time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because they beat the shit out of you, is what it is.
Damn.
So that's
something to
cool
consider.
For us.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought I've heard that CeeDee Lamb is also being talked about getting traded a couple of places. So
I've heard some names floating around right now getting traded. That is crazy.
So it'll be interesting to see if something happens before that Monday night game.
Yeah.
But looking at the Cowboys right now, I mean, they're 3-2. They're not like in a washed out season right now.
No. They're a top team in the NFC for sure.
I'm surprised that there's talks of trading CeeDee Lamb, but
they're kind of up and down though. Like they lost to the Cardinals,
right?
Losing
to the Cardinals.
They blew out. They blew out some teams. They beat the Giants 40-0. They can put up points, but if you look at some of these, I was listening to Chargers Weekly just before this. Like, just think about the quarterbacks they played before Justin.
Yeah,
like look at those guys. They're not
Dobbs, Daniels.
Yeah.
Wilson, Mac Jones. That was their
and then
their lineup.
And then Brock Purdy.
Purdy.
Yeah, I mean,
beat the shit out of them.
But they do have a good defense. There's no way around it. I think they lost some pretty key pieces in Trayvon Diggs, and that showed itself last week in Brock's ability to throw the ball. But the Giants are not a good football team. But if you can hold a team to 0 points in a whole game, you have a good defense. There's no way around it. You don't even give up one they got behind me type of play. When you're up by 40, that takes a lot of concentration, and you're a good defense. They give up 3 to the Patriots. I know that's not a great team right now, but Bill Belichick doesn't get beat up like that. That just doesn't happen.
You're being kind with them not being a great team right now. That is a dumpster fire.
Well, and they just lost Leighton Vander Esch, which I think you can arguably say is one of the better, if not the best defensive player on that team. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the Chargers come out there, especially after a whole week of rest, getting some of our big guys back to come out and see okay, Cowboys, do you really have a good defense or what's going on?
That's tough for them getting, us coming off a bye where everyone gets healthy and they're coming off the 49ers. I wonder if there's a game where you can go look at some this situation and what that score was for whoever, was playing after.
We're going to have some results here pretty soon.
There's always the potential for a slow start though, coming out of a bye, it's always a potential that you're in a little bit of a fog and you got to get going.
Yeah. We're Charger fans, dude. We're not.
We're ready
gonna
for
stay
anything.
Cautious.
We're ready for
the game is over.
Yeah.
And then
it's gonna be one score, and it's gonna come down to the end. So here we go.
Well, you can go on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat. Check out all the cool, funny videos we've got over there. Patreon.com/ChargerChat. And if you don't want to go over there, that's totally fine. You can go on over to our regular website, ChargerChat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there. T-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the member section and ask questions in Ask Full Fam, so go check out ChargerChat.com. If you ever thought, why the heck is my wireless bill so dang high, then let me tell you about Mint Mobile, who we're partnering with for today's episode. You might already know Mint Mobile if you've seen those funny ads from Ryan Reynolds, who's also an owner, but let me quickly tell you about how awesome their service is. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 a month. And you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network. They keep costs low because they sell direct to you online. They cut out all the retail stores and the salespeople and things like that. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? It's a good question. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code if you're interested in the best value in wireless. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint also offers a modern family plan that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. Now, I've used Mint Mobile, and I gotta say, everything that they've talked about as far as switching over being extremely easy is 100% true. It was a super easy process, and then once I was switched over, I honestly didn't notice a difference in my performance. All the apps that I typically used, like Twitter and YouTube and things like that, ran exactly the same as they normally did on my previous carrier. Like I said, switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your own home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, that's totally fine. Mint Mobile will ship you a new SIM card for free. It only takes about 15 minutes to switch, and Mint Mobile has great customer service if you need help. And right now, as a special limited time offer, you can get their unlimited plan, which is normally $30 a month, for just $15 a month. That's a 50% savings off their already super low price. It only takes 15 minutes to pay as low as $15 a month for your phone plan. It really is that simple. Use our link mintmobile.com/chargerchat to get started, or click the link down in the description, or scan our QR code. It really helps out the channel. And if you've already made the switch to Mint Mobile, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear about your experience with them. Thank you, Mint Mobile, for being our partner for this episode. Hey guys, we got to take a second to talk about something here at the Charger Chat podcast that we're really excited about, and that's Bolts Bids. Bolts Bids is available through the official Chargers website and the official Chargers app. On the app, scroll about halfway down until you see the Bolts Bids banner. Say that 5 times fast, and you're going to find all kinds of Chargers memorabilia. Team-issued jerseys, helmets, game-used balls, player-worn gear. What else is there? Player signed gear and much, much more from both current and former players. So make sure to check out Bolts Bids either on the app or the website to see all the amazing pieces they have that's updated regularly. And you're probably going to want to go there right now because Bolts Bids has consistent giveaways. You just need to download the official Chargers app, scroll about halfway down until you see the Bolts Bids banner, then click filters and select giveaways. And if you don't want to use the app, even though that's the easiest and most preferred method, you can also click the link in our description or go to chargers.com/boltsbids and then click filter, offer type, and choose raffle, then hit apply. Now you will want to make sure your account info is filled out and updated with your name, email address, card info, and mailing address, because the winner will be auto-selected and notified via the email address they have on your account if you win. And the reason you need your card info in there is because you will have to pay for shipping, but that's an absolute steal for these giveaways. So make sure you go to the app or the link down in the description for your chance to enter. So be sure to go to Bolts Bids for your Chargers memorabilia and bolt up. So there you go, folks. We've got Bolts Bids now coming on over, and we can't tell you enough how awesome it is to be affiliated with these people, because I'm telling you, folks, the giveaway right now, if you go over to Bolts Bids, is a full-sized lunar helmet signed by Justin Herbert with the inscription of 2020 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Look at that beauty.
In the eternal words of Bill Murray, gimme, I need. Dude,
it's just a giveaway.
You just go in. I just did it. You go in there. You you set up your account. You type it in.
There we go.
Done.
Pause.
Kyle's on it.
Get on it. I'm actually kind of annoyed that we're doing this right now, because my chances of getting this helmet now are probably going down considerably.
They have to.
But it is what it is. Got to share it with
you. Pull, even if you get pulled, you're like, nah, I got to try again. Pull another name.
Pull it again.
Then we just talk to this guy. So yeah, folks, definitely go on over, check out Bolts Bids. You can find it on the app. You can go to chargers.com/boltsbids. And it's free. You can
NFL rookie,
and they're going to give it away right after the Monday night game.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll keep you guys updated. They're going to have a lot more giveaways, so we'll give you little teasers here as they come out. You'll see what they have.
Super fun. All right, folks. Well, now it's time to go on to the next segment. We've had him on before. Love to have him back on again. Can't wait to hear what this conversation's about. But it's our old buddy Chris Hayre sitting down with Kevin.
Let's go.
As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell.
The goal is to just keep it rolling.
Come in hype, because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we are back with another Bolt Insight, and the man is back. Chris Hayre, what is going on, my friend?
Dude, always good to be with you, man. It's like a nice reset as we get into the back half of the season now. I guess not really the back half, like the last 13 games, but I think the bye came at a good time for the Chargers, as they hopefully can make a run here now.
This is awesome. It's so crazy because we've talked before, but I listen to your podcast every week, so it's like your voice is stuck in my head all week long. So
I'm sorry.
No, it's
everybody
listens. It's a good thing. It's very good. But I want to kick off talking about the podcast. Obviously, that's where most Charger fans go to get the insights, all the fun stuff. And I was always curious. It seems like you and Matt Money have such a cool dynamic and relationship. What's it like working with Matt Money?
Dude, it's the best. I've known Money even from afar. When I was working for the Lakers, I was working in corporate sponsorships, right? So I was director of sponsorships. Money was actually doing post game for Lakers. So, I knew of Money forever. And then obviously got to grow closer with him, teaming up at the Chargers with the podcast, and also him and DJ doing great work on the radio broadcast. So Money brings such a great insight. For me, it's just like, you know what, you can lob it up to Money, and he's got some awesome insight on what he sees. And, I think that each and every week we hope to provide Chargers fans with some entertainment and also some valuable nuggets going into each week. So we actually just taped for the upcoming game against the Cowboys, and that should be out here in a few hours. We're taping this on a Thursday. So, yeah, man, he's the best, and I love doing it with him. I've had a couple different iterations of the podcast where it was used to be more kind of guest based, but I prefer doing this with Money because it's one thing to get a guest on and get insight from the other team, but like you said, I think we have good chemistry and just bouncing stuff off of each other and hopefully informing the fans.
Yeah, I love this new iteration. It's like sitting on a couch hanging out with your buddies while they're talking. You can't talk, but you get to feel like you're there. So it's awesome. So keep it up, please. We love every week, everything you guys put out. And then also we just want to kind of get into some of the news. Last week is weird because we didn't have a Charger game. So it was like the only thing all of us have been stewing about is this JC Jackson stuff and what happened and how some of the news came out after the fact and kind of how the coaching staff kind of was very nice about it and didn't say anything. And then what came out afterwards. What was your kind of take on finding out that last little bit of nugget of information at the end and kind of the craziness that was that whole JC Jackson experiment?
Yeah, well, it was definitely an experiment, and I think it's good for all parties involved that it's over now. And I think it was the right time to part ways and to kind of get the secondary just moving forward, knowing that this is what it's going to be like. I saw a quote from Michael Davis about just the fact that he felt like, you're kind of looking over your shoulder a little bit, who's going to start, JC or myself. Now I think that there's no debate, and it's going to be Zont, it's going to be Michael Davis, it's going to be Jasir Taylor. You hopefully get these safeties back healthy starting Monday night, and this secondary can just mesh, and there's no distractions. Now, obviously, some of that stuff came up about not coming in the game and things like that. And when that sort of stuff comes up, like I said, it's best that you cut ties and you move forward. And I commend the Chargers for doing it. It's when you bring in the JC Jackson, and keep in mind, this guy had like 17 interceptions the previous 2 years before he came on to join the Chargers. So you thought you were getting a guy who was going to be a lockdown corner, who was going to guard the Devontae Adamses of the world and all the stud receivers that you have to face week in and week out. And, it started off rocky last year. Then he had that major knee injury, and to his credit, came back ready for week one. But, him on an island against Tyreek Hill didn't work out. And, for whatever reason, it didn't mesh. It didn't work out. But Chargers are moving on. JC has already played a game with the Patriots. And the Chargers have an opportunity now, man. We've talked about this team seizing these opportunities. And for as poorly as this season started, going 0-2, to get 2 wins by any means necessary and to take that breath, this is where they're going to have to show something. And I think really show their locker room that, hey, we can compete and we can beat Dallas. We can compete and we can finally beat the Chiefs and win this division. This is an opportunity to win this division, man.
Yeah, no, it's all that 100%. And then definitely the whole JC Jackson, just how it did last year. And when he stepped away, I feel like you were talking about the cohesiveness. Everyone kind of came together in the secondary and they started to play the best football we had on defense later in the year. So hopefully that they know what to do now. They pick up right where they left off and just go. Just the confidence of knowing you're the number one, I think, is important for a lot of these players.
Yeah, keep in mind, Michael Davis was awesome.
He was a stud, absolutely stud.
He was a stud at the end of last year. So you're hoping he can regain that form. And sometimes with the corner, man, like it's mental, it's physical, and the fact that these guys know what their roles are going into Dallas, I think that's a good thing.
100%. And then, going into Dallas, it's the big coaching matchup. We got former Cowboy versus the Cowboys, and it's going to be interesting to see how this coaching staff attacks this. Every week I get more excited for this Kellen Moore, the play calls and what he's doing. It just seems so fresh and new and exciting. What do you think this coaching staff has to do to kind of, get everyone to stop giving them such a hard time, I guess, everyone on their back, like a statement win? Do you think that kind of takes some of the pressure off a little bit?
Yeah, and I don't think it needs to be a blowout win, but a win against the Cowboys, period, I think gets you to 3-2 and has your locker room feeling a little bit more confident. So, Money and I talked about this today with just the Kellen Moore versus Dan Quinn thing. They both know each other very well. I think for the Chargers, what we have not seen since week 1 is the running game. And to see Austin Eckler back in there, I'm very intrigued to see what this offense will look like with Austin back and what they do to push the ball down the field in the absence of Mike Williams. You clearly saw that it was a problem against the Raiders, specifically in the second half. So what does Kellen have cooked up? I thought he was brilliant using Darius Davis as that Austin Eckler role. That first drive of the game in that 51-yard pitch. Now that Austin's back, how do they deploy Darius Davis? What are they going to do to get Joshua Palmer open? How can you get Quentin Johnson some confidence and get him and Justin on the same page and get some balls down the field? Keenan is having the best season of his career, and that's saying something, right? He's already having an all-pro year. That they're going to focus a lot on number 13. So what can these other guys do? So you know what? I think it starts with the run game, though. Controlling the clock, keeping Justin Herbert on the football field, keeping that Cowboys defense on the field. The Cardinals rushed for like 220 yards on the Cowboys a few weeks ago. The Niners last week rushed for 170 yards. It doesn't need to be like that. But I think Austin Eckler will make a big difference, and hopefully Joshua Kelly can spell him, and Kellen Moore can get into a rhythm calling plays for Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're excited for this game, first primetime game. Justin always seems to come out when the lights are on and do exciting things, and just the people don't. They kind of sleep on Justin a little bit, where he's just kind of like the guy that they kind of talk about. Like, oh, he's top 5, whatever. But like, these are the opportunities that he can go out and show the country what he's all about. And I'm excited because we know what he's about. We watch him every week. So
yeah,
it's going to be exciting. And then another exciting thing, I want for everyone to kind of know a little bit more about what you got going on. This new Max Prep show you're doing is super exciting. I love high school football. I love all of that. So tell us a little bit about some of the cool new stuff you got coming up.
Yeah, man. You know what? I love football season, and this is just another kind of wrinkle to what I've been doing this fall. It's called Max Prep SoCal. We just had our first episode that aired on CBS News Los Angeles on the stream. If you go to KCal News YouTube or CBSLA.com, you can watch it. Obviously, a good week to start with Mater Dei and St. John Bosco going head-to-head on Friday.
Yeah, seriously.
And, there's so much awesome football in Southern California. So it's a new show. You guys can check it out. If you're into high school football, we're going to cover everything. And the best part about it is I get to do it with former Charger, Jaleel Adai, who joined me on Wednesday, and we're going to do that moving forward. So I appreciate you plugging it, man, because it's
all day.
We think about the Rams and the Chargers, and then you think about UCLA and USC, and it almost overshadows sometimes just how Southern California may have the best high school football in the country. Now, Florida may have something to say about that, and Texas, of course. But
yeah,
Mater Dei and Bosco have been doing it for a long time. Sierra Canyon, there's so many schools here that have 4- and 5-star guys that are going to schools across the country. I believe the St. John Bosco Mater Dei game has over 70 dudes that have an offer.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That's next level. So yeah, Max Preps SoCal on CBS News Los Angeles.
Well, yeah, man, everything you do is awesome. We tune in for everything and can't wait for this new episode. You and Matt Money talking about this Cowboys game. So we'll be tuning in immediately. But
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much for your time, Chris. It's always so awesome to have you on. And let's try to do it again soon.
Let's do it, man. Love it.
Well, Chris.
Love Chris.
Chris is such a good guy, dude. Coming on, chatting with you.
He's a dude. You know what I mean?
Totally
he's one of the dudes.
He's one of the dudes.
Chris Hayre, dog.
Dog.
Man, and I love everything that he's talking about for this game, man. I mean, he said like we don't need to have like a 200 plus.
Why not?
Game, but
why not us?
Why not, Chris? I mean,
we'll take it.
Yeah, if we can get Austin Eckler back, hey, sky's the limit, dude.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty fun to see if our running game could get up to those numbers.
Yeah.
Come on now, sign me up. And love that he's doing that show with Jaleel Adai. Dude.
Yeah, Max Preps is so fun, dude. High school football is Kyle's lived that world for so long that it's so fun.
World.
Yeah.
Part of his world. All right. Chris, thank you again so much for coming on and chat with Kev.
Yeah, thanks,
and now, folks, it's time to go on to the next segment. You know him, you love him. It's a great experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh,
Great experience.
hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
No way Madden could screw this up. I mean, Khalil Mack had 6 sacks in one game. That's tied for a single game record. His overall has to have gone up significantly. What's this rating updates? 1 point to his overall rating. Yeah, this is stupid. I'm over this crap. Hey guys. Sorry. I don't really get to play very many video games these days, but it was bye week and had a little time off, so decided I'd pick up the sticks and check out Madden, and that was a mistake. Anyway, CC gang, the biggest of salutes into the rest of the boat fam. What's going on? You got Craig in Texas, back from the bye, and ready for this next edition of the experience. So as I was saying, we have football upon us. Well, not this weekend from a Chargers perspective. We have to wait till Monday night, but we get a full weekend of, college football, your other regulatory NFL games. And then we roll into prime time with the Chargers being the only show in town on the big stage. You know what that means? Prime time Herbert. Don't we all love it? Now, what's really exciting about this game is the return of a few names that have been away due to injury. You got your Austin Eckler's coming back, your Derwin Jameses of the world, and not too sure what's going on with Joey at this point. I don't think he actually practiced yet this week as I'm recording this. Haven't checked the first injury update here, but I hope he's back. Chargers are kind of going to need all their horses to contend with a pissed off Dallas Cowboys team who got curb stomped against the San Francisco 49ers. And hey, I'll admit this, man. As a Chargers fan, I'm never jumping ship. But if I was not a Chargers fan, I would absolutely be a fan of the 49ers because they play the exact brand of football that I love. Hard-nosed, rugged, they run the ball, they throw it when they have to, but they're also very creative in the way that they go about it. And they allow their playmakers to get into space and do what they need to do with run after the catch, which is something that I am begging. God, please find a way to get the ball into Quentin Johnston's hands so he can exhibit that, because that is his claim to fame, or was at TCU. I really hope they get that figured out. But anyway, one of the other things that I'm truly looking forward to in this game, well, aside from the Kellen Moore grudge match against the team that asked him, pardon me, they mutually agreed to part ways. And then for some reason, all you heard were stories about how the offensive failures were laid squarely at his feet. Forget the fact that his quarterback had a proclivity to give the ball away to other teams. That couldn't have been on Dak. That has to be Kellen's fault somehow, some way. Never mind the fact that he's in his first year with Justin Herbert, and Herbert only has 1 pick to show for it through 4 games. But I'm sure there's like some sort of weird reason why that is the case. Can't be that Dak just sucks. But hey, as I was saying, I'm looking forward to what the Chargers defense specifically looks like with 2 weeks to prepare for this Dallas offense, which I don't know if you guys have checked out through the first 4 weeks of the year. Looks awful similar to one that we grew to loathe over the last couple of years. because it's very stagnant and it's not a whole lot of movement or creativity associated with it. And I can't help but wonder why or if there's some sort of correlation between Kellen Moore's exit and the fact that Mike McCarthy is now calling plays, because that's what he wanted to do. Strangely enough, that Mike McCarthy offense looks just like it did in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. So sad. Not for us, though. Anyway, basically now what this means is you've got an offensive coordinator, a guy in the same building with you that I hope has spent a significant amount of time with Brandon Staley over the last 2 weeks discussing some of the tendencies. Because even though Kellen Moore ran the majority of what he wanted to run, or maybe a fair portion of the type of offense he wanted to run, McCarthy had his imprint all over it. And sometimes Kellen's hand was forced. So he knows what McCarthy likes to do offensively. Sure, he shared that information with Brandon. And now, Mr. Staley, you have had a couple of weeks to prepare for it. And the guy should be raring to go. And if you've got, mostly your full cast of characters out there to defend it, I don't want to hear any excuses this week. Hopefully this happens. Not sure that it will, though. With Dean Marlowe's performance pretty much in cleanup duty for Derwin and Alohi Gilman against the Raiders, he showed me a lot. Whether it be playing deep third of the field as a split safety, coming down and run support, I was rather impressed, especially from a guy who was essentially, was he on someone else's practice squad? He was with a completely different team, like a week prior to that performance. Coming in and fitting right in. Here's an opportunity to now have Derwin roam the box. If you can have Dean Marlowe active as a split safety back there with Alohi Gilman, then you can take one thing off of Derwin's plate and allow him to be effective in the area that he's best suited to play. Imagine this, if you will. Well, first of all, the fact that Dak Prescott just loves playing Santa Claus all year long and handing out gifts in the form of picks and fumbles. Maybe we can help encourage that more so by having Derwin not just blitz him in the past, alongside of Khalil, Thule, probably Joey, hopefully, and then Chris Rumpf sprinkled in there. But also against the run, as someone who can penetrate and create tackles for loss in the backfield, and just literally creating all sorts of havoc inside of the box. If you take that deep responsibility away from Derwin, you can get very creative in that short area of the field and make it a nightmare for everyone in that Dallas front. Tight ends are going to have to account for that. Tackles, you might be able to blitz him up the gut, so you got the guys in the interior that have to deal with it. Make Dak think. The more you make Dak think, the more you give him happy feet, the more Mr. Thanksgiving he becomes. 'Tis better to give. At least this week. So Dak, please don't stop. Holidays are coming up, man. I'm trying to get y'all in the mood, man. I'm trying to be festive about it. And this would lead us right into it. It's October, it's fall, leaves are falling outside. You feel the vibes, man. Be a giver. But pretty much that's all I had to say about that on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, y'all know exactly what I want. Downhill power running game. That's probably helped a lot by Austin Eckler's return. And it'd be really nice if we got the tight ends involved again, up the seams. Haven't seen a ton of Gerald Everett. Not sure how things are going to fare with Parham with that wrap on his hand. I can't imagine him attempting to catch one of those Justin Herbert piss missiles with that thing on. You know, like the one he caught from about 5 yards away against the Vikings, which almost took his hands off. Whatever's going on with that hand is probably going to be worse catching balls from Herbert this week. But anyway, still try to utilize those guys. Open the offense up. I've done the Quentin Johnston spiel already. Again, it's been 2 weeks, so hopefully that means they've been able to find a way to incorporate him into the offense. And Darius Davis, my guy, I'm sure he's going to get his hands on the ball and do some things in the open field as well. Still haven't gotten to see a ton of him in special teams because, well, first and foremost, the kickoff rule and all that, and then punts are weird. I mean, if there's not enough room to operate with on the field, 9 times out of 10, the best thing for you to do is fair catch it or let it bounce. So punts are kind of a toss-up. Kickoff returns, I hate them for that rule change, and I think it's doing the game a bit of a disservice. Y'all can call it what you want about safety. I just think y'all are screwing with stuff that shouldn't be messed with. That's just my personal opinion. Anyways, I am really looking forward to this game in general because this is one of those matchups that the Chargers get to really prove who they are. You'll find out a whole lot about this team because, again, Dallas is probably going to come in frothing at the mouth. They're missing a few guys, but, man, getting just destroyed like that against the 49ers, it's got to leave a bad taste in your mouth. You got to take it out on someone. I just ask that the Chargers not be the cure that ails. The cure for what ails them. That always gets thrown off in my head when I think it. But anyway, that's it for me. Y'all know who it is. Mr. Bolt Gang or Do Not Bang, a.k.a. TOP_FLYT3 over on Twitter. And yes, you can catch me as a co-host of the Lightning Round podcast as well. Come check us out over there. And I'll be back next week, hopefully after we collect another dub, and I can come here and rag on Cowboys fans because that's like... they're like a tier below the Raiders for me. I don't really hate the Cowboys fans as much as I do the Raiders. Not even really close at all. It's like upper echelon hate when it comes to the Raiders. The Cowboys, y'all are just annoying because you think you're supposed to win the Super Bowl every year. But it is what it is. Again, hopefully we will be back after having gotten another W and we can keep the vibes up. So until then, take it easy. And okay, love you, bye.
Well, thank you, Craig, for another awesome experience. Yes, there's so many things to look forward to with this game. Obviously, the biggest one is Kellen Moore going up against this team. That is really going to be, Craig makes great points as far as like everybody was laying the blame of the offensive woes at Kellen Moore's feet, and now Dak Prescott is still fighting for his life out there sometimes trying to make plays, and it's like...
I think the Cowboys are going to be interesting on offense because they still have a small sample size. But I think once the season's over, they're going to be like, "Oh, Kellen, we miss you." That's just the feeling I get because they've had some big games against some not so great teams.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens when I think we're a good team. So I think I'll be curious to see what happens when they run into us and if they are as good as they were against some of those other teams.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see guys like Darius Davis and Quentin Johnston, man, just come out and have some big games because Quentin Johnston especially, like this could be that game that we can finally start seeing some dividends.
Justin Herbert loves primetime games. Who's to say that Quentin Johnston doesn't as well? He hasn't had one yet.
Wouldn't that be perfect if he showed up Monday night, country watching? Here comes Q.
Here comes Q.
First round pick. This is why.
Yeah, like honestly, this feels like the game. If you're going to introduce him to the world, do it now.
Do it
Maybe they were holding it. Kellen's like, I know how good he is. I'm just gonna holding
it like a fart. And as soon as the game starts, he
just
rips it, man. Just lets the whole world smell it.
Well, what if he was holding that for the Cowboys?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
He just like give him a couple.
Like, they're not gonna put any attention on him, and then we're gonna kill him.
We're gonna let
yards on the catch. Yards on the catch.
The biggest season that he's had in his career. So they all flock to number 13. Meanwhile, Q's sitting over there ready to freaking.
Yeah, everyone's been bringing up plays where he's wide open and Justin's not throwing him the ball. And it's like, you guys just didn't know the plan. You're not on the inside.
We're in the long game.
Yeah. This is a long game.
Well, Craig, thank you again. Love the experience, buddy. And that's basically going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. But before we go, it's time to make some prime time Bolt predictions.
Kevin, smell a fart in there?
Yeah, I want to apologize. We were watching
disrespected over
We were watching the Craig experience and something happened in our little
check it out over at Patreon. Patreon.com/Charger Chat.
Oh God. I'm sorry, Adam.
It's all right.
My bad.
All right. So Bolt predictions. What do we think is going to happen for this primetime Dallas game?
Let's do age before beauty. You go first.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Me, little me.
Let's go age down. We'll start.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to say that Quentin Johnston gets over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Oh.
Actually, no. I'm going to take that. I'm going to let me strike that. Reverse it. I'm going to say that he gets I'm going to say that he still gets the 2 touchdowns, but instead of saying 100 yards, I'm going to say that he gets 80 yak yards.
Whoa.
80 yak yards.
I love yak yards.
So, and the score prediction, I'm going to say Chargers win.
Wait, why not 100 yak yards?
It's got to be realistic.
I gotta go with Kyle. It's 100 yak yards.
Is this what happened last time?
This worked last time.
I give out a bold prediction. Kyle says, "Why not this?" And I say, "Of course, 100 yak yards." And I'm gonna say that the Chargers win 28-18.
18. Nice. I like it. Cool. All right. So I'm gonna go with Chargers winning 31-23.
Okay.
Justin Herbert is going to be prime time Justin Herbert.
Yes.
He's going to throw for over 350, 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
And Thule is getting 2 sacks this game.
Wow.
Jeez, double.
You're on both sides of the ball.
I forgot you started doing the parlay thing.
I'm a parlay guy.
Yeah, you are a big parlay guy.
Yeah. Evan parlay, hug and duck.
So over 350, 3 touchdowns, and Thule gets 2 sacks.
Okay.
Nice. My score prediction, everybody knows, 55-17 Chargers.
There it goes, yes.
And my bolt stat is no explosive plays. Not a single explosive play now that JC's gone. So no passes over 20 yards.
Whoa.
No rushes over 10 yards.
Whoa.
If that stat rings, that's the best stat we have here. If that rings true, we're winning this football game.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go, folks. Bolt predictions in the books. We'll see what happens. And by the way, because we normally record these Monday night, we will put out an Ask Bolt Fan probably at like the start of the game, I guess, or something like that. So
maybe at halftime,
halftime.
So if you want to be on Ask Bolt Fan, might be a little shorter next week, just because we're gonna literally the game's over and we go right into our episode.
Yes.
So we will post something. I'll say halftime. I'll post it at halftime. Get your question in then, and then we'll ride.
That's right. Yeah. So keep an eye on Twitter and get questions in. If you want to get them in early, going over to chargerchat.com, you can get those questions in as early as you want. But you might look a little silly if you're asking something that's game specific and something weird happens in the game. So don't jinx us, damn it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Mom. No.